Holy cow, we are live. I am with, well, we have two Ontario boys here. Ontario, Canada here, and Ontario, California.
Right. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
I will bet you that it's warmer in Ontario, California than here. I'm 90 minutes north of Toronto, and I think it's 10 degrees, 11 degrees Celsius here, which is 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But welcome, Mr. Bart Robley, to episode 84 of the Gretsch
Wow.
Afternoon Drum Break. I haven't seen you since September 18, 2020. That
Is
was your
that the
first.
last time?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, so lots
Wow.
of things have happened with you, and we've been Facebook friends, and I've been watching your live stream series as well. And man, you are just so hopping. You have so many things going, from the live playing to the studio playing to your books
Hmm.
and your teaching, and you are doing a little podcast, kind of like a visit to these different podcasts. Michael Scott's The Drummer's Pathway podcast, Rich Redmond, The Rich Redmond Show,
The
and
Rich Redmond Show.
and I love Rich too, man. And
He's a sweetheart, isn't he?
he is a fireball, that's for sure. But welcome, man. I'm so excited to kind of catch up and see. So since we've seen each other, you
Right.
moved. You moved
Yeah.
from Fullerton, California to Ontario, California.
Right.
And man, so can you fill me in on what, maybe go back a little bit
Yeah.
and what chronologically has been happening in your musical life?
Well, musically, things have been great. I think everybody. Actually, I want to. I don't. I want to make sure that you're right on that date. I know I was on this show on that date, but you were on deck.
I
Were
was. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
what? Maybe it was after. I don't remember.
It was afterwards, yes, for
Was
sure.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of the different guests. There was a few different people, Murray Piper,
Yeah.
and a few other. That's how I got
Yeah.
into those guys. But yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so what happened was when COVID hit, everybody kind of spun on their heels and had to do something different, right? And so luckily I'd already been teaching online for years. It was a Dom Famulero thing, I'd been doing it on Skype. And so everybody switched to online, which was a good thing because gigs obviously, stopped.
yep.
That was hard for all of us. All of my musician friends, oh my God, I was one of the lucky ones because I had been teaching. I know guys that were like playing stadiums and now they're driving Uber Eats, and you're
Yep.
like, well, oh man. So, anyway, so yeah, the teaching went online, but then it kind of grew because instead of dwindling down, a few things happened. Parents realized they didn't have to drive their kids to the show or to the class. They didn't have to fight traffic. They didn't have to do all that. Plus, now people from all over the globe are reaching out for lessons. So I have students in Canada. I have students in all over the United States. So that took off. And then when COVID kind of started lightening up, it was great for the band because it just exploded after that.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from playing, you know, uh, you know, 50, 60 shows a year to 100. Like right now, we're just gone, and the last 2 years have been remarkably good. Really, really, really good. So, yeah.
That, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then writing, when COVID hit, I've always been a writer. Um, And when COVID hit, my wife really wanted to buy a new house. And so I was like, okay. So we started looking and we fell in love with this house that we're in now. Ontario from Fullerton's like 20, 30 minutes away. It's not far. It's not like we moved to Mars. And although people in Southern California, because being in Orange County is kind of a thing, so so when we moved out here to Ontario, to the Inland Empire, people were like, well, why are you doing that? But then we just got more bang for the buck. Um, we moved out here, and I had found a box of old magazines. Do you remember? Did you ever get Classic Drummer in Canada?
I didn't really, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote for Classic Drummer for years. Billy Jeanson, great guy. Wrote for them for years. And I found a bunch of other magazines that I wrote for, like little rags that you would see inside the club when you walked in, what's going on that week at the club. And and I found some of these magazines. I'm like, oh my God, these things are archaic. They're so old. And so the writing was so bad, but it kind of reignited my love for writing. So I wrote a book called The Rhythmic Journey, and I got it published with my publisher, with Hal Leonard. But then the digital version got picked up with Hudson. And right before Dom Famularo passed away, he had cancer. Then he said that it was cleared up, and then it came back. I didn't realize that it had come back because he had said all over social media that he was doing better, and I hadn't really reached out to him because he was going through so much. When I did reach out to him, I asked him to write the foreword for The Rhythmic Journey, and he did. And so I'm so grateful to have had him write the foreword for that book. It was just like, you know, it was amazing to have him write that. And then when I got done with the book, if you've ever done writing, there's a lot of stuff that just like, okay, here's the outtakes. This worked, this didn't work, this didn't work. So I thought, well, I'm going to write another book from that, and that's where Drum Up Your Business came from.
Okay. So
And
can we go?
it DRUM is an acronym. Real quick, sorry.
Okay.
So DRUM, determination, relationships, understanding, and mentorship. So
Your business, man. That's awesome. And
yeah.
what's the best place for people to get that book?
You can, if you want the digital version, you can go to Hudson Music. I think it's like $9, really cheap there. If you want the printed version, you can go to bartrobley.com and you can get it there, and I'll get it in the mail to you.
That's awesome. And what is the Rhythmic Journey basically about? The little Reader's Digest version of that.
Yeah, the Rhythmic Journey is really, it started out. I didn't I kind of want to write a memoir, but I don't want to write a memoir. It's not like I've played in Van Halen, or something like that. So I just wanted to write a book about what it is that I've done with my life and how rhythm played a big part in it. And when you really kind of start looking at rhythm and think about how rhythm works, I tell all my students, if you put your hand over your chest and you don't feel rhythm, you've got a major problem. So we all have rhythm. It's around us all the time. You drive down a country road and you roll down the window and you hear fence posts go by. That's rhythm. It's always there. Cognitively, the neuroplasticity in our brain, how it works to reshape things and everything. Rhythm plays a big part in that. So that's what it's about. It's just about how rhythm works in our lives and how it makes us feel, how it connects people together, the nonverbal communication. If you and I were sitting in the room and you were playing the drum set and I had a conga or some shakers or something, you and I would be having a conversation and we wouldn't be talking. But we would totally know what each other were saying and thinking through the rhythm, And it's fascinating to me. It just really is.
Yeah, communication is amazing, and it's great when you're playing with people. You're playing a song maybe with people you've never ever played before,
Mhm.
but just a look, just a body language, and you're communicating, even if you don't speak the same language, English to Canadian. uh, but but it's true though. Like there's many times when we've both been on stage where we've never played a song or played with this person, and yeah, and there's this great communication. It's kind of a really neat thing that you can only gain by experience.
I recently, I had a friend of mine in my neighborhood here. He plays tuba and he plays double bass, and he's a orchestral player. He's phenomenal. And he was doing this rock orchestra thing, and the drummer, uh, or no, I'm sorry, the guitar player on the gig, he and I had played a couple of shows together. August Zander. He plays with Dynasty Young and all these
Mm.
superstars. Great guitar player. And I went up and said, "Hey, man, you remember me? Because it's been a while since we played together." And he goes, "Oh yeah, man." And he goes, "I think this is the only time we've actually spoken words to each other." Because all the gigs that he and I have played on, it's like, "Oh, August is a guitar player tonight. Hey, how you doing?" And then, we go and then gig's over and everybody goes their separate way. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it happens. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So playing wise, you're saying that you were hopping busy with the Sam Morrison band. Fill us
Yep.
in on, and I know the gigs have just basically gone bananas the last couple of years, as it has with our show, which is we're certainly grateful for.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, tell us whereabouts you're playing and what kind of venues and where you're playing and what are the different shows that you do.
So we're playing all across the United States. It's been just insanely busy. This year we've gone from coast to coast. We played in New York. This year we've played, there's this great place that we play in Lincoln, Indiana, that is the Lincoln Amphitheater. And oh my God, it's amazing. Matter of fact, if you go to my Facebook page right now, the back picture, the main picture is me on stage at that place. It's the big ego shot. There's,
Wow, of course, yeah.
yeah, you got to do that. It's the highlight reel. But yeah, we're doing stuff like that. So we're doing everything from amphitheaters to like small stadiums and casinos to theaters. I remember you would always say soft seat theaters, stuff like that. Performing arts theaters. We do a lot of outdoor venues, but and I don't want to dismay anybody. I mean, some nights we'll be playing to 400 people, and then 2 nights later it'll be 8,000 people. It's all over the place. But I'm just so thankful for the work and the fact that the band has been together as long as it has, 26 years, is just incredible. Um, and the show that was our bread and butter for the long time was a tribute show, the Bob Seger tribute show called Turn the Page.
Hmm.
But we always billed it as Sam Morrison Band presents Turn the Page, a tribute to Bob Seger. And so because of that, at the end of the show, Sam does he has a spiel that he does and talks about, oh yeah, well, we have this show and this show that we do, and he'll tease them with the song, right? He'll start a song and the crowd goes crazy, and he goes, "Well, you're not going to hear that tonight," and they all
Ah,
boo, 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 and then we do the closer show. Well, 100% of the time we get hired to do the other show, so it's worked really good. And in that show, it's the other show is like a Southern rock's greatest hits. So a lot of Allman Brothers, a
right.
lot of Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker Band, stuff like that. Pretty challenging stuff to play, and then we get to play our originals in that show as well, and so that's worked out really, really, really good for us. It's worked out really well.
Now, and it's funny because I've been seeing your posts over the last few years and listened to Sam. What is his background? What has he done? I think you were saying before that he was kind of like a '90s country guy before.
Yeah, when I got in the band, it was a 90s country act, right? It was Garth Brooks, Travis Tritt, Vince Gill, that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And what I did, well, what he did, he had called me up and I had subbed for him a couple of times, and his drummer and guitar player quit the band. And he calls me up and he goes, "Hey, we've got a tour of Europe, and it's 3 weeks, and it's yours if you want it." And
Wow.
I'm like, "Let's go." Well, what he didn't tell me was that we were playing military bases all over Eastern Europe at a time
Right.
that there was a skirmish going on. So we were in an active war zone, right? And it was fantastic. It was so exhilarating. It was very eye-opening to and like, especially when you play a NATO base, right? We'd play these NATO bases, so there's militaries from Canada, from everywhere, all over the world, and seeing what those guys and girls go through, and it was very eye-opening. and one of the best experiences of my life.
Yeah,
Um,
that was brand new when you were brand new in the band, correct?
oh yeah, yeah. I had done like 3 or 4 gigs with them, and they were all bigger gigs. The first one was at a baseball stadium over in Long Beach, and then California, and then the second one we flew to Oregon and we opened to Edgar Winter. And then I did a couple of little club gigs, but we were always opening to somebody. I don't know if you remember a band called Diamond Rio. They were in
Oh yeah,
'90s. Yeah,
sure.
so we opened for Diamond Rio. We did stuff like that. And so yeah, I don't know, 4 or 5 sub gigs was all, it wasn't a lot. And then he called me to do the gig, and I was like, and so the it was a lot of things. It was like, okay, I'm trying to find my way musically to
Yeah.
do this. And there's literally we were 25 miles from Parliament the night they stormed it to get Milosevic. So like I'm trying to learn these songs, and there's guys shooting each other over there. I mean, it's nuts, man. It was crazy. And I don't know if have you ever played one of those shows?
No.
You know what? You can't even put it into words, right? It's like until you and when you see a war zone on like a newscaster on television, it's like it doesn't you have no idea what it's like until you're there. It's the most horrific, frightening, unbelievable thing you've ever seen. And what you don't really realize till you're there, the smell. Like it's just because it's one thing to see, wow, that city's destroyed, but it's another thing to see it and smell it. I remember this one incident in Kosovo. There was this train track, and the train track was twisted and standing in the air like Lincoln logs, and the engine of the train is sticking out of the ground, standing on its end, and you're like, oh my god, it was crazy, it was nuts, and it was at the same time it was so eye opening, and it really made you thankful and really like, oh my, I'm so blessed, so yeah, it was it was a thing. It was
It's
cool.
good that you saw that at the young age you were
Mm.
then. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
that definitely would. That was a good coincidence. You know, it makes you grateful for what is the good that is coming down the road, as well as the bad, because the bad is nowhere near as the bad that you saw that those folks had to endure, and for years afterwards. Man, that's
Yeah, I mean, it's e each one of us, you kinda get into this thing where you're like, my idea of a bad day is, 2 students cancel and I break a snare drum head. I mean, come on,
first world
it
problems. Yeah.
totally, completely first world problems. Oh, thank you, Richard. I'm glad you enjoy the music. Thank you so much.
He's asking if you've played any shows. GTA is the Greater Toronto area. Have you guys played Toronto?
We have not. We have numerous different booking agents that we work with,
Mhm.
and I it wasn't this year. I always say last year, but I mean the year's kind of behind us. So
Yeah.
this year, 2025. I know in 2024 there was some talk of going into Canada, but it never happened. So I would love to. I mean, I wherever, I'm ready, Freddie. You get us a gig on the moon, I'll be there, man.
Yeah, there's some good venues, and I know there that kind of style of music would definitely fly up here. You know, there's
You
lots.
know, I
Yeah,
would I would absolutely love to come up to Canada play to see you, to meet you, and hang out and just do that whole thing would just be fantastic. That would be absolutely an amazing thing to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
love to do that, and that's it's amazing. So, how involved are you with the gigs? Does Sam pretty well deal with with the agents and things like that, or do you have anything to do with the actual bookings of the band?
I don't do the bookings. Everybody kind of has their specialty things that they do within the band, as it happens with all bands.
Hmm.
Sam deals with all the bookings and the agents and stuff like that. Greg, our bass player, man, he is this guy is a money genius. He's so like he should have been a money guy. Investments and all that stuff. So he takes care of all the payroll and the money and Airbnbs and hotels and all that stuff. That's his thing. Uh,
Wow.
I'm kind of the driver guy, myself and Walt, our keyboard player. If we take turns driving and sharing that when we're on the road. We used to have I had a tour bus for a while. We don't have the tour bus anymore, just because it was the maintenance and the upkeep was just insane. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so the bus was making more money than we were at times. So. Yeah, so we don't, but we all kind of share, take turns driving and stuff like that. Everybody has their little specialties, but all the booking stuff and everything is Sam, and he deals with the agents and with yeah, and the promoters and everything.
Yeah, that's like our Bjorn and Nick Pattison in our show, as well as Crystal, the blonde in the show.
Uh-huh.
And Nick has just become the most incredible booker slash, I don't want to say salesman, but he never realized that he was so great at booking. I mean, we went from playing from zero when we started this version of the ABBA show to now 100 shows a year, and endured COVID. And there's lots of other ABBA bands and whatnot. So it's definitely he's got the discipline to do that every,
Yeah,
like we have the discipline to sit down and practice our drums, our craft and songs and things like that.
right, exactly. And you know what? It does take a certain mindset because I think it's a business mindset, and I also think that much like dealing with drum students and stuff at times, I think there's a certain amount of patience that has to go into it. And then also the logistics, because my God, there's like this one run that we did last year. In uh, we started in Texas, in Fredericksburg, and we worked all the way up into Michigan.
Wow.
We flew from, and then we came back down into Kentucky, went into Nashville, flew home, did 3 shows out here, flew back to Nashville, got the SUV and the trailer, and drove to Ohio, um, Indiana, and New York. And so the logistics to string all that together, I mean, you know it well. I mean, putting that together is a headache, man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my hat's off to the people that can do it for sure, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few promoters that we work with, and they have their logistics people that put the tours together, and I can imagine how you have to find out, when the venues are open, see what other ABBA bands or whatever bands have been in that area. So, there's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes long before we announce dates, and
Oh yeah.
this could be a whole topic of just on the business end of things, which really drives what we do and how we are to make a living. So, man, and I find that fascinating. I like the business end of things and knowing how that works, and it's pretty fascinating.
Well, that's the whole premise of my new book, Drum Up Your Business. It deals with bookings and stuff like that a little bit, but really I'm a firm believer that each individual person is their best commodity. You're your best commodity, right? So I have a matter of fact, as a plug, I have the stuff that didn't make it to Drum Up Your Business. I have a Gumroad product. Gumroad is a platform where you can do digital downloads, and it was the outtakes from Drum Up Your Business, and it's called "You Are Your Best Commodity," and it's just kind of a worksheet thing, workbook thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, but I think that the business end of things as being a drummer is so incredibly important because look, as you just said, Neil, we play gigs, we tour, we have to deal with all of that. Plus, we're running teaching businesses. Do we teach from the road while we're on tour? Do we, yeah, okay, I've got 3 dark nights and we're staying in one place. I'm going to go ahead and teach while I'm here and dealing with time zones and all of those things. And that's really what Drum Up Your Business is about. There was a book in the mid 80s. It was called The Platinum Rainbow, and it was yeah, it was this book on how to make it in the music business, and there were some pretty grandiose things in that book, but I remember being a young kid reading it, and I thought to myself, for years I thought, I want to write my version of Drum Up Your Biz, or of the Platinum Rainbow, and I want it to be a business thing in the sense of what I've been through, right? What we've been through and what we have experienced in the music business is so valuable. Um, and I found, I don't know if you run into this, Neil, but I know for me, like a lot of times I'll be given drum lessons and let's work on some rhythmics, right? Here's how you play this tune. Here's how to play these grooves. All those things that we do. But I found that a lot of my lessons kind of turn into a coaching thing. So I started a side coaching business. And then on my YouTube channel, if you look me up on YouTube, I just started a thing um, called Road Rash and Band-Aids. And it's just stories about here's how you handle this in the music business. Here's how you handle that. And people seem to be liking it. So
It's great that we can all share our experiences and our wisdom, and we have that at our disposal. When we started playing drums, man, you had Modern Drummer magazine,
yeah,
and I didn't even know that existed in the very beginning when I started playing drums. So here I was going to the library
yeah.
and, just to try and find out anything. But now we have all this great information and if we don't get it immediately, we're upset. We're like,
Oh, you know what? One of the things, and this is a teaching thing that I used to say back in the 80s, when I started teaching, dating myself there. But back in the 80s, we used to run from dinosaurs. Um, I would tell my students, I go, look, we live in a microwave world. When I'm trying to, motivate them to practice or to have them reach down and pull out that determination to go through a passage that they can't play, I would say, look, we live in a microwave world. You come home from school, you go to the freezer, you pull out this microwave burrito, and you put it in the microwave, and you're so frustrated because you have to wait for 2 minutes for that thing to cook. And then once it gets out, you start eating it, and you're burning your mouth because you don't want to let it cool down, right? With just everything instant. Well, I mean, that's long gone because now if we don't get instant gratification with scrolling, forget about it. So I think that there's so much information out there. It's at the touch of a fingertips. But once you have that information, the discipline to use the information, the discipline to slow down and sit at the drum set and do the work, or sit at the practice pad and do the work. That's the hard part. That's the part that we have to teach people to tap into.
yeah. You find that has changed with your students over the last decade or so, the willingness to want to put the work in and stick to itness, you know what I mean? Has that changed for you?
I I think what I have seen change for me is that people have always wanted what I say is the magic drumming pill. They just want me to hand them a pill and they take it and poof, they're a drummer, right? I've seen what I've seen change is because of videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all these reels. People can learn faster because you can see somebody doing it. Like you said, you used to go to the library back in the day, the DCI videos, all this stuff, right? Where you would you would have to get a VHS tape, put it in the player, watch the drummers. You had to go out of your way to watch them do it. So it's faster that way. But where I think people are missing the mark is we're not learning to read music. We're not learning to absorb that end of it. And to me, and I don't want to think that it's one thing to say old school, but I don't want to think that music notation and the ability to read is going to go away. I mean, AI has changed everything. The internet has changed everything. I mean, the recording industry. I mean, I'm in a recording studio right now in my home. I've gone and recorded tracks in a studio a few times in the last 5 years, but mostly it's all done here.
Yeah.
But I still notate stuff. I still write stuff out. I still, I think to answer your question, I think that end of it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's up to us as teachers to show the importance thereof, you know.
Mm-hmm. And how many students do you teach per week on average?
Right now I'm at about 60.
60?
Yeah.
60. 60.
60. Yep.
That's a lot of students.
That is a lot of students. That is a lot of students. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's a mix of virtual and in person?
Yes, most of them it used to be before COVID were in person.
Right.
And I still have in person. That's. Um, but what happened with COVID, as I said at the beginning of the show, I think parents, well, I don't have to drive anymore. I
Convenient.
think some of the students, adult students, I don't have to drive anymore. And again, like today, I have a student in Nevada. I have a student. Today's Wednesday. I've got a student in Florida. And I have a student in Colorado today, and the rest of them are strung out all over California, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have they're all over the place. So that's kind of hard to say, okay, I'm going to do 2 online students and 4 in-person students and 2 more online students. So a lot of them just switch to online. Richard, what is the
Yeah, the
age
age
range of
range.
students? You know what? I literally right now my youngest student is about 8 years old and my oldest student is 73 years young.
Wow.
So all the gamut, yeah. And all levels too, right? So I have, kids that I'm teaching quarter notes to, and then I've got this one student right now, Addison. She's phenomenal. And she has a piece that she's getting ready to go to college, and she has this piece of music that is when you listen to her play it, it's like, okay, that's doable. But then when you look at the music, here's the what I was saying about the reading. Every measure, it's a different time signature, but like really weird stuff. So you'd be like, 2 measures of 4/4, and then a measure of 3/4, and then a measure of 7/8, and then a measure of 6/8, and then to 5/4, and then to 5/8, and you're like, and then dynamically it's all over the place. So yeah, it's a challenge sometimes. Yeah.
That's awesome. So is that a snare piece or is that like a
Yeah.
drum piece, a
Yeah,
snare
no,
piece?
that's a snare piece. It's like it's a 32 bar etude, and it's yeah.
That's really that's really cool. I know Phil Maturano has in one of his books a piece that goes back and forth between some crazy time signatures and things like that. I love that stuff too. It's crazy.
It's so much fun to just challenge yourself with it. To like
Mm.
because one minute you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, like, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy that. I
What
really
are some
enjoy that.
books that you teach out of, Bart?
I teach out of for when we first start with if there's a curriculum, if you will, to start with, like a new student. I have my book, The School of Hard Rocks, and my other book, Rock and Pop and Snare Drum. And then I'll use rock and pop and snare drum a lot, like I use syncopation, but then I go into syncopation. I use stick control. I love Tommy Igo's book, Groove Essentials, because of the play alongs. They're fantastic. Um, there's so many great books. There's so many great. Rick Stojak's book from Drummers Education Connection.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick's books are fantastic,
How
man.
to
Building
build
a
a
drum.
groove? Is that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah, how
See,
to build a drum groove. Yeah.
yeah. I need to get a few. I need to get your books. I need to get Rick's books, and I need to be able to spin the sticks like Chip Ritter.
Oh God, Chip is such a showman, man. We all yeah, well, that's the one thing we all have to, I think that we have to learn to take little bits and pieces from our friends and our
Yeah.
colleagues, but don't compare yourself, don't go, wow, I can't juggle sticks like Chip. I'm not a very good drummer. Well, no, Chip is Chip. I am me, so if anybody watching this or seeing this in the future, don't play the comparison game because man, that'll kill you. That's one thing that Rich Redmond told me um, recently. He said, when I hit my 50s, he goes, I quit comparing myself to everybody, and it was just really freeing and liberating, you know.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and think about that for a minute. You're like, okay, well, Rich is first of all, he's a badass drummer, right? And he
Sure.
plays for one of the biggest country artists in the world, right? What's he got to compare himself to? But we all play that game. We all do. Every one of us is like, if I could only play like Dennis Chambers, and then you learn your Dennis Chambers, like if I could only play like this person, and it's just all over the place. So,
But my question is, what does Vinny say? Like I
right,
like to play like, like I don't know. No,
right. Well, him and Weckl too, because and Steve Smith, those three guys, you look at them and it's like, I don't even know what to say.
no, I know. I had a lesson during COVID with Dave Weckl, and that
Did
was,
you in
yeah, it was
person?
no, it was an online thing, and he was great. I had to send him a video of me playing beforehand, and I'm like, what am I going to send him, right? Because we had been shut down, and I filmed a few things with the iPhone or whatever, and he's like, yeah, man. He goes, you play nice. I'm like, Dave Weckl said I play nice. How about that? And then he's like, you tell me you want to learn traditional grip, but your drums aren't set up for that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
he was great.
yeah.
And he was a huge hero, and still is, of course. And all the greats are. So
Whenever we see our the greats, when you see all those guys, Todd Zuckerman, he's up there.
yes, a fellow Sabian guy, as you and I are
Yeah,
Sabian endorsers.
that's right. You came on with Sabian, so you and I are both Gretsch and Sabian guys.
Isn't my wife said that last night? She's like, "Hey, he's Gretsch and Sabian." I go,
Yeah,
"Yes." She goes,
yeah.
"He has good taste." I go, "Yes."
Right.
He-
I'll get my big fat head out of the way.
There you go. Yeah, I'm loving it, and that's phenomenal. Have you been? Let's what united us to begin with
Mhm.
was Gretsch drums.
Very
I
much
saw
so.
you on the website, and I went, man, that guy looks like a cool dude. To look at his pictures and look at the bio, I'm going to reach out to him to be on this Gretsch Afternoon Drum Break thing.
And I thank you.
Oh, we had a blast, and it was so fun. Not only are we fellow drummers, even though we have not met, I feel like we're friends,
Oh
which
yeah, totally. Dude,
makes me
I
happy.
have so many friends like that we've met online. We're friends because of drumming, but we've
Yeah,
never sat in the same room together.
we
Yeah.
will. I'll get to NAM one of these days, or get back to California one of these days. But have you been to the Gretsch Lounge?
Oh yeah. Have you?
Oh, tell us about it, please.
Man, it is so awesome. And here's the thing. Okay, if you start watching videos from the Gretsch Lounge, other than Mike Johnston's, when you see him in there, when you walk into the room, it's not real big. There's a little drum riser, and there's three drum sets. And the one on the far right, when you're looking at the drum set, is this red 3-piece kit. It's a 14 by 22, different snare drums, of course. 9 by 13, 16 by 16 USA custom. And that bass drum, like everybody's like, oh my God, that kick drum. They sprinkled magic pixie dust on it. I don't know what they did. Best sounding bass drum I've ever heard.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's just got some Remo. I'm an Aquarian guy, but it just got a couple of Remos on there, and it is everybody that plays it. Like there's a video right now. Matt Sorum is
Yep.
that red kit, dude. That kit, if you go there, you got to play that kit. It's phenomenal. And Andrew,
Mm.
that's where his office is at. And oh my God, he even says go play the red kit, and it's just phenomenal.
You got to do Andrew's voice though.
I can't do Andrew's voice. I can't get that low, man. He's got the most awesome voice, man.
I love that
How's
guy.
it going, man? How you doing, man? What's going on?
That's like Kermit the Frog.
Hi ho,
Or Fozzie Bear.
Andrew Shreve here. Now watch, Andrew's gonna watch this and he's gonna kick me off the roster. I love Andrew. Andrew's the best.
We all do, but I know that place was maybe his brainchild. But so, what other drum kits are there? We've got that red kit with the Magic Pixie Dust bass drum.
That's a USA custom. There are all three of them are USA custom. There's a little bop kit, and then and then a 5-piece kind of bop kit or rock kit, and they change them out. We went to I got invited to the Gretsch open house when they officially opened it. And so myself and Adam Parsons, he's a friend of mine, he's a business manager. Him and I went together and just had a great time. And then he has a thing of just cubicles, right? Or little, just filled with snare drums. There's 100 snare drums in there. And I'm so jealous of you because you got the brass bell, don't you?
I do.
Oh, every time I see that you're playing somewhere, you're playing a backline, like, oh, he took the brass bell. He took the brass bell. Do you carry it on? You carry it on with you, right?
I've actually had it backlined, believe it or not.
Oh, really? No kidding.
But that's only in the U.S., my friend. Okay, that's when, we had it. So I'm like, okay, yes. Great drum.
That's on my list to get one of those. Adam, it's just the drum room, Adam's drum room. I did a master class there at the beginning of the year. He has a collection of snare drums that we counted them one day and there's close to 200 drums. It's insane. It takes up a whole room.
And that's good.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just feel like I died and go to heaven every time I go there. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah.
We are Facebook friends, Adam and I. We may have chatted just briefly, but wow, that is so. He lives near you, I take it.
Yeah, he lives over in Riverside, and when he's not on tour, he's over in Germany right now. He's on tour, and
right, he manages.
He manages a lot. He manages Lita Ford, Uriah Heep, Europe, the band Europe. He manages them.
Right on.
He manages. He just signed Accept. He manages Accept. He used to manage Motorhead.
That's nuts.
No, dude, it's crazy. It's really cool. Like we got invited to his birthday party, and it was like, all these rock stars. It was just fun. It was a great hang. It was up at the Sunset Marquee in Hollywood. We had a great time. Real nice time.
Anything new gear wise, Gretsch drum wise for you?
Yeah, this year, I have, let me think about this. I have 4 Gretsch kits. All 4 of them, believe it or not, are renowns, right? Mm-hmm. They're all renowns. I just bought a new renown. It's piano black. Mm. And it's a bigger kit. It's a 14 by 24, 13, 16. So 9 by 13, 16 by 16. I fell in love with some traditional sizes. I got backlined on another brand kit, and it was bigger drums. And I was like, man, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some bigger drums. And I was thinking about having, well, I talked to Paul at NAMM, Paul Cooper, and I was thinking about having one built, you
Yeah.
know. And then I played the Renowned in those sizes, and I'm like, and Andrew, he even says all the time, he's like, the Renowned, my best Andrew voice, mate, the Renowned kit is Gretsch's unspoken hero. And I was like,
Just like,
yeah, so it's like perfect. So I got that kit. And the hardest thing for me, I don't know if you're this way, but when I pick out a new kit, once I decide on what I want, the color is just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what color do I get?
Right. I had that biggest problem when I bought the white glass kit. I think I had five that were kind of like down. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, okay, it's going to look good under. I just had to make a decision. But I love red drums
Yeah.
in a bad way. But that's awesome. So you've got the piano black kit, and you have like the copper
Yeah,
colored.
no, what I have the piano black kit, and then I've got a smaller one that's actually part of it's here in the studio right now. It is champagne.
Oh,
So it's champagne, and it's more of a it's got I've used on a lot of rock gigs, but it's a 18 by 20. But man, that 20-inch kick drum, it kicks like a mule. It sounds like a 24. Uh, so 18 by 20, and it's smaller sizes, but it's a bigger kit. So I've got 14, 12, 14, 10, 12, 16, 16. So 16 by 14, 16 by 16.
sweet.
Yeah, and then I've got one of the original Renown Pure Woods, the walnut.
No.
Oh, that's the best sign. I quit using that. I quit touring with that one because the hoop got broken on the kick drum. Broke my heart. Broke my heart. But Paul, I told Paul at NAMM, I was like, dude, you're not gonna believe what happened. And he goes, "Oh." I said, do you have any of the walnut hoops?" He goes, "No, but," he goes, "I've got some maple hoops and it'll really look great on that kit." So he sent me two maple hoops, and the kit looks like $1,000,000, man. It looks so good.
I've
So,
never played one of those. I have the walnut with the maple inlay snare drum, and that's
mhm,
been the go-to snare drum the last month or so. It's worked
yeah.
in so many different kind of rooms, and so, oh man. And what else do you have?
So and then like a billion snare drums. I've got I've got one of the walnuts, 5.5 by 14 snare drums. I've got one that they don't make anymore. It was when Command was distributing them, and it's their version of a free floating
Yes,
snare.
I had one, a
The
couple of
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
They were
so the maple, brass maple. Great
ah,
drum, great drum. Records great. I use it a lot. It lives here in the studio a lot, and just a ton of snare drum. And here's the thing, I'm going to PASIC in a couple of weeks. So I know I'm gonna go there and fall in love with something and buy it. So, and I need another snare drum like I need a hole in the head. So
yeah, I know. I'm kind of out of room on the shelf, but you can never have too many snare drums, right?
Well, what I'm going to do is right back here behind me, I'm clearing this area out and I'm going to put a shelf in there. So I'm going to stack some, you know, snare drums in there because I'm always like, every time I record something, you know how it is, like, oh, that drum doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. So
Hmm.
I'll, you know, oh, it's a sickness. It just is.
And what about the new hardware? Have you had firsthand experience with the new hardware?
I haven't. I've heard a lot about it though. Heard a
It's
lot
supposed to be
about it.
good. Mike Fasano and I were chatting a bit ago, and he said, "Dude," he goes, "the hardware's rad."
Really?
Yeah, he goes, "I love Mike Fasano. He's the
Yeah, yeah,
best guy."
yeah.
And Dave Onania, our artist relations guy now, he
Dave
was
is amazing.
the best guy. He was saying that the hardware is killer. So my wife was like, because I was looking for some stands and some hardware, she goes, "Why don't you just get the new Gretsch stuff?" Don't you
Yeah.
love my wife? Like she'll just say,
I
just
know.
just get that.
Just get that. Okay.
Okay, honey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. No problem. And I mean, from America, you got a Corvette too. I mean, come on.
Yes, it's an old Corvette, and she's asleep for the winter now, and it's lovely. It's a '93 six-speed convertible, and
Mm.
super blessed to have that. And it's fun. It's better than me getting a motorcycle again.
Oh, right. I know. I know.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get a Corvette in Canada?
Oh no, there's oodles of them. I mean, and it was a family friend's vehicle, and
Mhm.
he knew that I loved this car, and he unfortunately was very ill,
Mm.
and kind of wanted me to have the car. So his daughter is good friends with us, and said, "My dad would love you to have this for this price." I'm like, "Okay." It only had 72,000 kilometers, so 40 odd thousand miles on it, and
Wow.
it was really kept well. So I've had it 5 seasons already, 5 summers, and love it. So there we go.
You
But
know
and
what?
so 6 months.
And I being a Corvette nerd real quick. And what year is it?
It's a '93, and it's the 40th. It's not the 40th anniversary model, but it's the 40th year of it. So Rich, my friend Richard Cote, the vet has a name, and Kim, my wife, named her Yvette.
I knew it was a vet, but I didn't want to say it wrong. I knew it was a vet. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yvette, yeah, and yeah, she's
When
that's
you get out of it, that's the one thing about Corvettes is they're so low that a lot of guys, when they get out of it, they grab a hold of the steering wheel and they push up. So the steering wheel gets loose on the column, but it's not loose.
You cannot do that. You got to flip that steering wheel up, flip your body, and then push yourself up. And you
Yeah.
step into it if you can, or if you're old like me, you can sit on the seat and wheel around. Great. Yeah, you never pull on the wheel, then you have that. Those bearings will go. But super fun car. But anyway,
Yeah.
I wanted to chat with you about fitness and what
Mhm.
it's. I see that you go to the gym and you're in shape, and why have you started, or why do you continue to go to the gym, and what differences have you noticed since really developing that as a habit?
Well, what I've noticed is that first of all, I my stamina on the road is, I mean, you and I both know how hard the road is. The road is not an easy life. It just isn't. And so luckily I can at my age I still keep up and I don't really run out of gas. I get tired, but I don't completely run out of gas. I recently had an injury
Yeah,
and my doctor told me after my x-ray and my MRI, he told me had you not been working out all those years and been in shape, it would have been really bad. It could have been like life changing. So I'm very thankful that I've done it all those years. And I really think that I mean, just the simplest of stuff, hauling all the gear that we carry and
yeah.
a flight case full of cymbals is heavy, I mean, just keeping yourself in shape just to do the job is important, I'm sure that the challenges that face me, uh, probably somebody like Todd Zuckerman doesn't have the same challenges. He has a road crew. He has everybody to do a drum tech to do his work for him, and all of our heroes, right? And I know they're hands on, but I know they don't face the
They're
same
fun.
challenges that I do and that you do. So I've kind of done it for that because I want to do this as long as I can. I just do. I've never really thought much about my age. Some people, you get to a certain age and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm too old for this." I've never really thought about that. I've just
No.
thought about, I'm gonna do my best to stay in the best shape that I can. I try to eat right, I work out on the road, just that. And I know you do too, right?
Especially the last few months, been dropped over almost 25 pounds since July. Just
Good.
diet changes and weight training and resistance training, and I feel so great, you know. So, and that's important. And I was starting to run out of gas, starting to feel like my back would go out. It would go out more
Mm.
often than I would.
Yeah.
True. But literally, it was flat on my back at a gig at sound check. It locked up. I had bent over to, and literally, I
Ooh.
don't even know how I ended up playing the show, but I didn't tear drums. So I'm like, this has got to end.
Yep.
So, and there you go. So, and it's and I feel great and able to fit into the Gretsch 140th. Do you have one of these? The Gretsch
I
140th?
don't. I need one.
You should get one from Gretsch Gear, and of course, have you seen that the 140th yearbook from Mister?
You know what? I saw it at that night at Gretsch,
Yeah,
at the open house, but they were all sold. They were all gone. And so I want to get one. Maybe they'll have them at PASIC, and if they do, I'll grab one there. You
should just
know.
message Fred and Dinah, speak with or Andrew or whomever. There
Yeah.
and Fred and Dinah and Lena signed it. We had to dinner. We had dinner one night, and look what's on the in our buddy Nick Collins on
No
that.
way.
Yeah,
No way.
it's a wonderful, wonderful yearbook. Essentially, is what Mr. Gretsch called it, right
Oh,
from the
that's
very
so cool.
beginning to up to present day. Paul DeLong, Mark Schulman, like,
There's Mark.
and there's my buddy Paul, one of the greatest drummers
God.
I know. Yeah, it's a fabulous book. You really should.
Yeah, I'll check
Yeah,
it. I hope they have them at PASIC. I hope they do. I'm
that'd be.
sure they will. You know.
I've never been, and we're working a fair bit in November, and I know it's the 50th. Dave Stark is going to be there. My buddy
Yeah.
Dave. You know Dave, of course, do you?
I do. I do. And you know what's going to be cool is I know we're talking about Gretsch here, but the Sabian thing, they're going to have a big photo shoot at Sabian.
Oh,
I was just going to ask you if you were going to be there because it'd be great to hang, you
that
know.
would be so fun. I know,
Yeah.
right? Well,
Yeah.
I have to do that at some point. Um, 60 students a week. That's nuts. Now, do you have a waiting list? Do you have?
I try not to if I, and this is a Dom Famularo thing. If I have a ton of students that are wanting to get in, what I usually do is I try to take those students and put them, okay, I'm going to give you a break on the price, but we're going to do two at a time, right? So I'll cut the price.
That's
Yeah, and I'll do two at a time. I'll do a group class. I try to do that kind of stuff. You guys look like you're in your 30s. Richard, you're far too kind.
I think Richard needs to put his glasses
I
on.
was going to
Maybe
say, well,
Bart does, but how old are you now, Bart? How old are you?
I'm 58.
We're the same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah,
Crazy.
I
Like
know.
like the 80s. Chasing dinosaurs in the 80s.
Well, dude, the first you and I talked about this the first time I was on the show. First concert I saw, I tell people this and they freak out. Elvis Presley.
That's crazy. You were just a kid.
I was 5 years old. Yeah.
That's insane. Imagine seeing that. What an imprint that must have left on you, to see Ronnie Tutt.
Well, what happened was that I saw well, so he had a comedian come out, then the Sweet Inspirations, his backup singers, they did like hits of the day, a lot of Motown stuff I kind of remember.
Sure.
And Elvis came out, it was like a bomb went off. It was like, oh my God, there's so much energy in the room. And then right after that, like it seems like it was I could look it up on the internet and see when it was. Um, because it was at the Denver Coliseum in 72, so I could probably Google that.
Wow.
But right after that, there was a camera, or there was the Aloha from Hawaii show, and there was a camera behind Ronnie Tutt, and he was playing, and I was like, "That's what I'm going to do." And you know what the thing is? This bums me out. I found out last year. So I live in Ontario, and like I could throw a rock, and Norco's right there. It's one town over. Ronnie Tutt lived in Norco,
That sucks that you
dude.
didn't connect with him. Oh man, who'd have
I,
thought that, eh?
I know. And out of all the guys I've met that are my heroes, I never got to meet him. Never got to meet Ronnie. Everybody I know that met him said he was just the nicest, sweetest guy. You
Yeah.
know.
Man,
Yeah.
what an advantage you have living in California, living in the US where you have where you have access, way more access. I mean, we had Neil Peart lived up here,
Hmm.
but he lived in California for the last number of years and whatnot. But man, I still have Getty and Alex. They're still.
Yeah. Do you know Joe Bergamini?
I know Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. Has he ever told you any of his Neil stories?
I'm not sure. Probably not in person. Is there anything you can share?
He has a story. When they were doing something together, and I think it was when they did the video when they had him on there. Um, and they were writing a project together, and Joe would go to where Neil's practice room was,
Right.
and they would walk down the street, and there was this little taco vendor by a freeway overpass, and they'd go get tacos, and Neil was like, "Oh, those are good, but try those." I mean, just one of the dudes. And I don't get, I don't know if you're like this, but I've been in the business for so long. There's one drummer that I still get real nerdy around where I'm like, oh, but I don't do that anymore, right? But I can't imagine being around Neil Peart and acting normal. I would
No,
just be like,
I know.
how do you do that? You
You'd
know?
have to become a good actor. I know I would yeah, wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, you got to figure when you think about Neil Peart, you think about Rush and what they accomplished. I mean, he was the best in the world at what he did. I mean, there was nobody that did that way. I mean, he has influenced millions of drummers, right? And it would be really hard to be around that and act normal, you know.
I used to teach with a fella named Martin Deller, who was in a band called FM. And FM used to tour with Rush from '77, and they toured upwards into the '80s. And I got to be good pals with Marty, and he would phone Neil from the drum shop that I was teaching at, and I looked down and saw Neil's phone number. I could tell that he was talking to Neil. And Marty looks at me, he hangs up the phone, and says, "If you ever phone this phone number," I said, "I didn't see 41651, whatever the number was." Seriously, like he for Christmas one year, '93, he had some autographed Neil. He went to Neil's place and autographed sticks. Like he would update me on what was going on before the public. It was just so. And Marty, I saw open for Rush at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto with his big,
Wow.
giant walnut-colored Gretsch kit that he had, and yeah. So, and I was really close with Neil's first drum teacher, Don George, and
Oh, really?
Don's snare drum literally right there, that, and a couple of Don's books. And yeah, dude, Don was only 5 years older than Neil, so he was 18, Neil was 13. He took lessons for 2 years, and he would telling me before, and they passed 8 days apart from each other, and he would tell me the
Oh.
Neil stories. Oh man. Anyway, very, yeah, but that's who's the drummer that you kind of get over
Oh,
still.
every time I'm around him and we're friends is Bissonette.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You gave me his number. I've texted him a couple times, but I don't want to bug the guy. So
he's a great guy, and matter of fact, okay, his sister-in-law, so Matt's wife, just sang on a song for Sam. I played drums on, and it was some for a movie, and
cool.
and she does all this Disney stuff, and she's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's incredible. So anyway, she sang on this song of Sam's, and like I don't know why I get so weird around him. I think what it is not only his drumming, but he's just such a great guy, and it's somebody that you aspire to be like that. I had a I was um we were last year we were leaving PASIC, and I'm sitting there having a Starbucks, and I hear this voice. Oh, there's Greg. So I go back, and I was joking with him. I go, "Hey man, are you stalking me?" He goes, "Hey Bart," you know how he is. And
Hey,
so
Bart.
how you doing, man? What's going on, dude? And you're the best, buddy. And he goes, "I want to introduce you." And I would here's where I had a moment where I did get starstruck. He goes, and I can't remember their names. I'm going to look like an idiot on the show. He goes, "I want to introduce you to such and such and such and such Zildjian, the two
Oh,
sisters."
okay.
And I'm like, "Oh my God." Well, I know, Andy from Sabian. I go, "Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you." And so Greg, and this was before Drum Up Your Business came out, the Rhythmic Journey was out. He goes, "Hey, you got a book for him?" I go, "I'll be right back." So I run over to my thing, to where my bag was, Rick was with me, Rick Stojak. He was watching my back. So I grab my $2. I go running back over. I go, here, this is for you. And the one of the girls, she goes, "Oh, Bart Robley, I've heard of you." And I was so blown away that she had heard my name, you know. And so I gave him a book, and then I was giving Greg a hard time. I go, "Okay, you owe me $30." And then they go, "Oh, we'll pay you for him." I go, "No, you won't. I'm totally giving him a hard time." "No, you won't. Here, there for you." It was such a great honor to meet them, and you know what they've just, I mean, Sabian, a lot of people don't know, is the Zildjian family. Some people don't know that, the Andy Zildjian story, or the whole lineage of it.
Yeah.
And just what they have done for us, what they have done for drummers, what they have done for the drumming community was just it was amazing to meet them. It was really cool. It was really neat.
I
So,
bet. I don't know Andy, and would love to. I've got to get to something one of these days. You know.
well,
Do you?
that's why you should go to PASIC, because like every year he has a room at the Sheridan, which is just right across from the convention center, and everybody's there. I mean, we just, you go and you have dinner and you go up to he has a really nice spread and you hang out, and oh yeah,
It's in
that's
Indy
what.
now, correct? It's in
Yeah,
Indy. That's
yeah.
Johnny Rab lives in Indy. You know that?
Who does?
Johnny Rab.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he's been in Indy for a bit. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
dude.
imagine him. Yeah, he's another awesome dude. Oh my god,
Right.
one of my
Oh,
favorite people.
I so wish you were going, man. That would be really cool.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. So, but um,
Hey, today is the last day to register online. You're not that far. Plane tickets can't be that expensive. Come
I
on.
would probably drive it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it would be cheaper in my Civic since the vet's away. So
No, bring a vet. You can take her out. You can
imagine.
take her. Come on.
Bart, I'm somewhere in Michigan, and Yvette won't. Sorry about your luck, buddy. I'm here with Greg Bissonette freaking
Yeah,
out.
right
Hey,
on.
buddy, I used to have a Corvette.
I used to have a Corvette. I broke it. I sold it though because it always broke down on me, man.
Ringo wanted it.
I gave it to Ringo.
I wouldn't want a Corvette, you know.
Hey, did you ever see the deck episode where Greg was on and Ringo called?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Dude, and talk about four guys freaking out. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just heard Ringo Starr's voice on a podcast that I'm a host of. That's cool as heck.
Done a lot of things, man. You know what I mean?
Well, you wonder why you wonder why I get weird around Greg Bissonette. He plays for a freaking Beatle, dude. It's not like he plays for, I mean, whoever you play for, my hat's off to you, but he plays with a Beatle. That's rare air. That doesn't happen, you
Yeah.
know.
And Ringo seems like the coolest guy on the planet. You know what I
Right.
mean? They asked him
Yeah.
if he can record. Yes, I've got recording, so I don't know how to turn it on. So
Yeah.
he's got a guy. I've got electric drums. I don't know how to turn.
I
Because
don't
Ringo,
know. Do you know have you ever heard of an artist out of Texas? He's a country artist called Ray Wiley Hubbard.
no.
Okay, Ray Wiley Hubbard is he's a Texas country music legend. He's one of those guys that should be incredibly famous, but he's not, right? Um, and he has an album out right now called Ray Wiley 2, but it's TOO.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll write that
And
down.
it's all of these artists who are incredibly famous, who love Ray Wiley, and they came and played on this record. And he did one of the songs is Ray Wiley Hubbard, Ringo Starr on drums, Joe Walsh on guitar, and Chris Robinson singing. And it's badass, dude.
That's
Badass.
nice, right?
Oh yeah. So, but check out Ray Wiley Hubbard 2, TOO. It's
Okay.
phenomenal record, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you have coming up? What's going on for the rest of your year?
You know what? So the rest of the year, a lot of lessons. Thankful right now the band's slow, which I'm thankful for. So I got a gig this weekend with the group. I got a gig, a couple gigs in November, a couple gigs in December, but nothing crazy. We're hitting the road hard in 2026. January is like January, February, I'm going to be gone, not even going to be home. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's kind of nice right now to kind of get some breath back in the lungs and chill out and giving some lessons, keeping some money coming in and stuff. I'm really promoting the books.
Hmm.
Um, and I start and I'm really working hard on the playlist on my YouTube channel, Road Rash and Band-Aids. And it's all just those types of things. It's don't do this on the road, do this on the road, make sure you think about this. It's just stuff from Drum Up Your Business, just ideas from that turned into little videos. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Phenomenal, man.
What
Good to.
about you? What you guys are working still? You guys are on the road a lot right
Yes,
now?
yeah, we're starting our Christmas shows pretty soon in a couple of weeks, starting our Christmas shows. As I was mentioning to you off camera, we have a CCR show that is just getting up and running, which is a lot of fun with some great folks. One guy from the ABBA show, Nick Pattison, our Bjorn, plays great guitar, and Aaron Solomon is our John Fogerty. And we have an incredible bass player as well who's been playing this music for the last 30 years, Lauren Scriver. Amazing. So,
Wow.
and we have a gig tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun.
If the Incredible Hulk was a lead singer, he would be John Fogerty.
Right?
Totally.
And he
That's
still sounds great at 80 years old.
dude, come on. And he still takes guitar lessons. Every town he goes to, he finds a guitar teacher and takes a lesson.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine that teaching Fogerty? Let's play your song. No, I don't want to play that.
Well, we did. So here's I told you my CCR thing. So I think last time we talked, I told you the Michael Blum story where we did all the re-records of the Bob Seger stuff.
Yeah.
And because of that, I got to do a lot of re-records for it was Carlin America was the name of the company. They were a publishing house. And so it was, commercials and TV shows and stuff like that, right? And I got to re-record. We did like all the Bob Seger stuff, a lot of the Meatloaf stuff, a whole bunch of just little one-offs. But dude, I bet you I did 20 CCR tunes. They
Really
came
fun.
out. Yeah, dude. Yeah, 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 yeah. Really fun stuff, man. You know
So
what
how
the
do you
hardest one was? The
tell me?
hardest one, believe it or not, really was, well, I don't know. There was there's some of the songs like with CCR where they like you're driving and you're just playing a square eighth note thing, and then all of a sudden it starts swinging just for
Yeah,
no reason, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And that was kind of weird. But Proud Mary, because all those ghost notes, and I had to read it because it's just me in the studio. There's no other
yeah.
musician, so I'm reading it. All those little ghost notes in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and those bass drums that are not on the downbeat of three, like that he'll play. So I was looking at the chart this morning. I've played Proud Mary, I don't know how many times, but I've played it kind of wrong
Oh,
for
yeah.
or approximated it for the last 30 plus years. And at our last show, I'm like, well, there's that push there in the chorus there, right?
Mhm.
Down that rolling on that upbeat of four. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what really makes, yeah. And Doug Clifford for sure didn't get enough love, but thank God that John DeChristopher had him on his My Drum Room podcast maybe a year and change ago, and to give Doug Clifford some love. But yeah, great player. And he's another guy. He was taking lessons with David Garibaldi, but wanted to make sure that Fogerty didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing lessons. Yeah, so he was, yeah, would study. And he's like, because Fogerty would have probably been worried like that you're going to start playing like David Garibaldi, right?
Wow, no
Yeah,
kidding.
pretty crazy. But yeah, iconic drum parts, iconic songs, and super fun, man.
Well, I think the funnest thing about those songs are that you can almost hear that they were jam sessions that got recorded and then they became a hit, you know? You know? Susie Q. I mean, come on. That some taco. That dude, come on. What a great tune, man.
Yeah, there's
You
so many
know?
layers to that with the percussion and then horn parts and sax
Mhm.
parts and then like man, it's super fun to play. Never did I think in a million years that I would be playing CCR or ABBA. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? That's the one thing that you don't know where life's going to take you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you just don't. And I remember moving to California and I was like everybody else that came out here. I was playing the Sunset Strip, doing the whiskey and Gazaris and the Roxy and doing all that stuff. And I'm going to set the world on fire, you know? And then all of a sudden I find myself in this band and we're doing a Bob Seger tribute and doing all this other stuff. And there's a certain point when you look at it, especially after this many years, and you look at it and you're kind of like, well, okay, this is my Beatles. This is my Rush. This is, this is my band. And yeah, man, I love every second of it. Love every second of it. And it hasn't been easy. I mean, anybody that tells you it's easy, they're lying to you because it's a tough business. But if you blow some love into it, it'll come back to you.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
really great. That
And I'm
that
I'm always so happy to see like you, because you always post stuff from the shows, and I always look at, oh, wow, he plays the 5 piece, and there's that Gretsch brass bell, and how he's dude, I love it. I love it. I'm so happy for your success, man.
brother, thank you so much.
You
And let
bet.
me tell you, I watch you and I'm like, oh, I could be doing more of that, or I should promote myself. So I learn from the guys who are really doing it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And appreciate what you do
Well,
and
thank you.
inspire. And like Dom would say, you inspire people to aspire.
Right, exactly, and I think that's our job sometimes as teachers. I really do. Dom was that guy. Dom was the guy that made you realize that what you do matters. What it is that you do matters, and you don't know whose life you're gonna touch with it. You just don't, and I don't know if you're like this, but every once in a while, like somebody will come to a show or a student you haven't seen in a while will get back in touch with you and they'll say things and you're like, wow, I didn't realize that I had
Yeah.
that effect. I had, you know what? I had a student, I'm not chest pounding here, it's just happened. Recently I had a student who got back in touch with me. Her mom did, and she goes, "Naya is going through a commercial music program, and she's doing this, this, and this, and trying to get this to happen, and trying to get that to happen, and she's playing piano and drums." And she
Yeah.
broke down one night, and she goes, "I need Bart." So they
Oh,
booked a lesson with me. I was like, "Wow." Well, then I had another student and this was all within a month, who she was like, "Hey, I just want to start jamming again. I'm going to go to a blues jam. I really need your help." Okay, cool. And then just yesterday, I had a student, and he got asked to do a gig tonight. He's like,
sweet.
I haven't played in a while. I need some help with the song." Okay, cool. So it really made me feel like, okay, I had these three students who I hadn't seen any of these people in a while, but they reached out to me because they needed my help. And that is more important to me than anything, that I could help them reach their goal, you know?
That's the best feeling. You know what I mean? It really
It,
is.
it
The best feeling.
is.
And that they thought they were always thinking of you. You were in the back. You were the first person that they thought of.
Right, right. And
Oh,
and I know you've had that. I know you have. And so it really makes you like, "Well, okay, all this is all worth it." It really is. It's all worth it.
totally is, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for
Oh,
your time and great to see you again and have fun at PASIC. No, my friend Alex is saying we can take his Subaru, his WRX. Oh my God.
here's a WR.
Of course he does.
Alex, come on down, dude. Let's go. You and I
Come
well,
on down.
you and I'll take some selfies and send them to Neil.
Oh, that would, oh, he would too. How tall are you, Bart?
6'5".
Yeah, so is Alex. So
Is
I'm
he?
like, I had a feeling. I'm like, yeah, 6'5", and I'll be like, hi guys, how's it going?
How tall are you?
Just under 6.
Okay. Well, see, that's why you fit in the Corvette. Dude, my dad, okay, it's gonna go on forever. My dad had one year, my dad bought and sold cars. He always had hot rods, and he had a 1977 pace car Corvette. You remember the Stingray, and it was black and silver, the
Yep.
Indy pace car?
Yep.
Okay. And he had one. He had two Corvettes at the time. He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to sell the 77." And I said, 5'3" is not his understandable.
I think we should block him.
Yeah, exactly. Block that dude.
Bye, Al. Just kidding.
He goes, "Yeah, I'm selling the Corvette." And he was in Vegas, okay, at the time. And I'm out here in California. I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to buy it." And he goes, "Dude, you won't fit in the car." And I said, "Dad, I'm buying that car." And he goes, "You won't fit." And I said, "I'm going to come out to Vegas this weekend. I don't have anything going on. I'm going to buy the car." He goes, "If you'll fit in the car, you can have it. I'll give it to you." I said, "Okay." So off to Vegas I go, right? I have no idea how I'm going to get this car home, but if I got to put a trailer on my, whatever, I'm buying that car. I get to Vegas and I sit in the car. The only way I could fit in it was a T-top, an old 70s T-top. When you took the T-tops off, and I'm looking out of the car like this. It was so small. Now the newer ones, I fit in them comfortably, right? Because you kind of almost lay in the car, you know.
You'd fit in mine.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
Tons, but yeah.
I looked at a 90. Well, our neighbor, her husband had passed away, and she was selling. I think it was a 93, 94. What year did the lights go instead of being the tail lights instead of being round? They went to oval.
They would have been maybe 91, 92.
Okay. It was that year because it was the first year instead of the taillights being round, they were oval. And he was a tall guy, and the steering wheel was like ka-tunk, 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 ka-tunk. I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't buy it. I wanted to, but I was like, and the carpet, it was shot. It just needed way too much work. So
it's crazy. They've taken a bit of a dive, and they're valued the C4, so it's good time to buy them. So
I know, man. I know. You like the new one, the mid-engine one?
I do. I like them all. Thank you. I sat in one at a couple summers ago or last summer, and looked at the price tag, and it was 200,000 Canadian for that. So that's like 25,000 American. No, 200 grand. No kidding. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, we were playing in Wisconsin one night, and Sam knows what a car guy I am. And I'm in at sound check. I'm running through the drums. And he goes, "Are you done with drums?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Get out here." Okay. So I went out there, and the guy had just pulled up. He just bought it. He's gone down to Florida to drive it up. Like, oh man, it's a badass car.
they're totally awesome. I'd love a C5. Maybe that's the next one. So we'll see. We'll work my way up. And when the new ones, the mid engines, get to be 20 years old, I could afford one.
Yeah, right. No kidding. By that time, give me that Corvette, Sonny.
I know. We'll both be 85, and we'll do our third visit here. And
Exactly. No kidding. No kidding. Neil, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, my friend.
you have a good day. Thank you so much, Bart. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take it.